Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible. With special thanks to Nine Knives, Revenant, Alois, Anerdinwarpaint, Antonio Hernandez, Dragon Matrix 7, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Kazorm, Lima, Nathan Welch Jr., Tomasz Piątkowski, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, as we prepare to return to the field, though not quite just yet. While I would like to go out for some senseless slaughter, we do have a new mystery that was presented to us after our latest sojourn. We're done with Waljev, but in tending to his task, we have uncovered a new ally in Finian, a sentient talking weapon that doesn't seem to acknowledge he's a weapon. With that in mind, I thought we'd start off by checking that out a bit first, and then for the latter half we'll head out to, let's say, the market and knock out a few more optional encounters just to help balance the scales a bit. Aside from that, I also redid a couple of things with our shopping from last time around. It turns out that only the highest tier crafting kit in your inventory matters. If you have, say, in this case, a level 4 scribing kit, you can craft level 1 through 3 scrolls as well. I don't remember it working that way in the beta. That's why I went and I invested in level 1 and 2 kits individually. But they have changed crafting quite a bit since the beta. And maybe I was doing it wrong then too, who knows. Either way, we should now be set out to level 4 spells, which I believe is level 7 for Nenio and level 10 for Waljev. As for brewing, we're not going to worry about that just yet. I will grab a brewing kit at the end of Act 1, or maybe the beginning of Act 2, because we're not really going to be leaning into that until level 7 or 9, I'm not sure which. Anyway, let's get to know Finian. A tall, athletic man greets you. His hair is prematurely gray and shorn close to his head in a military style. He is lean and well-groomed, and a monocle twinkles coldly in his eye. The bold set of his jaw and his large but agile frame attest that here is a man who is always ready to be on the move. Greetings, I am Hilor, venture captain of the Pathfinder Society. I'm a superior officer among the Pathfinders in this region of Mendev. However, the Society is running almost no opportunities here right now. Besides me, there are almost no Pathfinders here. Actually, I'm only stuck here because of an old feud with a demon worshipper, known as the Spinner of Nightmares. I've had to work alone, without the support of the Society, but I've made a lot of acquaintances among the local mercenaries and daring fighters. If you need any good fighters for an honest cause, talk to me. Oh, good. So you're a Pathfinder then. Tell me, Hilor, have you ever heard of another Pathfinder named, Finian Dismar? Hilor rubs his chin. Let me think. Dismar. I've definitely heard the name before. Of course you have. I'm a Pathfinder too. So, now you are the commander in these lands? What about Lady Ori? When I left for the wound, she had just taken up the position. Hilor examines the talking weapon and chuckles sadly. I'm afraid Ori perished during the Third Crusade. Yes, now I remember. Finian Dismar went missing in the wound at the end of the Second Crusade. His name has been on the lists of the fallen for a while. Well, here I am, alive and well. Write in your list that I'm back, and soon I'll file a detailed report for everything that happened to me. Finian's voice is full of joy. I knew it was a misunderstanding, but now everything will return to normal. I need to write my folks. They probably think I'm dead, too. Oh, Finian, that might not be the best idea. Though it's not like you actually can write a letter, so I guess we don't have anything to worry about there. Hilor shakes his head, sadly. Poor lad. But such is the fate of a Pathfinder. We face the unknown, but sometimes the unknown wins, and our mind cannot take it. Deep. So, Hilor, they wrote a book about you, right? Tell me about yourself. What exactly are you interested in? I am a common Pathfinder. There are many others like me. Fate and my orders brought me to this land. Sure. Is that really it? Because that is not what your book implied. Well, I was working on an assignment for the Pathfinder Society, and then a demon worshipper named the Spinner of Nightmares abducted my daughter, Lori. For the past 3 years, I've been trying to save her. During this time, I've become a specialist in scouting demon territory. I've even planted agents among the cultists. Truth be told, in pursuing the Spinner of Nightmares, I've been acting more on behalf of Queen Galfrey than the Pathfinder Society. It's a long story. I'll tell you the rest of it sometime. Hilor frowns grimly. This Spinner of Nightmares is a true spawn of the Abyss. I've fought her many times, but I've never been able to seize her by the throat. So this thing took your daughter? Tell me about her. Hilor smiles, showing his healthy white teeth. As a girl, Lori was just an angel. We lost her mother early on. She was left to follow my example, a drifter with little idea how to talk to a 10-year-old girl. But even with such questionable parenting, Lori managed to grow into a wonderful girl. Brave, smart, beautiful, and entirely unbearable. She's always argued with me about everything. When Lori was 18 and told me she was going to be a Pathfinder, all I said was, all right. I knew there was no use to try to talk her out of it, and she was a fine Pathfinder. Hilor's fists clench with a painful-sounding crack. I'll never forgive the Spinner of Nightmares for taking my girl from me. Intense. So, what's the Pathfinder Society like? The Pathfinder Society is a global organization that unites opportunists and adventurers of all kinds. We explore the world and uncover its secrets, and sometimes face down threats. In times of trouble, the latter becomes our primary focus. We're driven by curiosity and the desire to make the world a better place. And of course, some seek profit or hunger for glory. But in any case, it's hard work. They might send you anywhere on a mission. Weaklings have little place in the society. It's more for seasoned fighters. There are society lodges in many cities. The closest one is in Eurasian. They're each led by venture captains, lads like me. The Grand Lodge is in Absalom, the center of the world. The Decemvirate sits there, the anonymous council of our leaders. Cool. You have sated my curiosity. Thanks, Hilor. Well, if you have any other questions, just let me know. Actually, now that you mention it, you did say you would tell me the story about the Spinner of Nightmares sometime. I believe that now is sometime. Was it as perilous and melodramatic as written in your book? Ah, the Spinner of Nightmares. It all began with a task of the Pathfinder Society. I arrived in Eurasian with my team to investigate the sudden death of a famous crusader, Baron Falren. We soon focused in on a small hospital for the wealthy, where Falren was being treated shortly before his death. It turned out that a gang of Baphomet's cultists, calling themselves the Labyrinth of the Mind, had gotten a foothold at the hospital. They were obsessed with twisting the minds of their victims, and they targeted fragile people too weak to resist. The hospital was filled with perfect victims, isolated for weeks from the outside world, completely helpless. And when they returned, they were different, almost normal, But the moment they heard a certain phrase, something dark awoke in their mind, and they transformed into servants of Baphomet, ready to lie, betray, and even kill. The Labyrinth of Mind was preparing to infiltrate all the elite circles in Mendev, but Baron Falrin stopped them. He was too loyal to his oath, and too resistant to their spells. He fought for his freedom until the strain broke his heart. We opened and cleaned the city of Baphomet's pit of vipers. Their den was a cradle of sin and filth. They cast spells on each other, and their loathsome fantasies stepped real from their minds into the world. They dreamt of horrible and forbidden things, and they fought like mad. We burned the place to the ground and slaughtered everyone we could. But the leaders of the cult were able to flee, and they were set upon revenge. They abducted my daughter, Lori, who served under my command in the Pathfinder Society. They left me a note full of tart insults, mockery, and sneers. From that time, I learned the name of my enemy, the Spinner of Nightmares. A few months later, I confirmed that she was the leader of the Labyrinth of Mind. My hunt had begun. I will get Lori back at any cost. Hilor grits his teeth with bulldog determination. Well, that is quite a tale. And, of course, he will give us additional details with each new act of the game until eventually we'll get a chance to get involved in the whole ordeal personally. But aside from that, Hilor is primarily just a service vendor. He is the one you would go to retrain, which we will need once we hit level 5. And he is also the source for any non-unique companions you'd like to craft to fill out your party, which we will be avoiding. I prefer to focus on story content, even if custom-built companions are a bit more efficient. Good luck. Watch your back. Only trust your closest friends. The enemy is cunning and treacherous. Yeah, well, so am I. So I guess that makes us even. Aside from learning about Hilor, that also told us that Finian has apparently been dead for 60-odd years, so we should probably have a chat about that. Hail to the adventurers. You know, I've never regretted following you for these past couple of hours. Everyone seems to revolve around you, like beavers in a mill wheel. I'll have a lot to write in my report to the Pathfinder Society. Although, thinking about it, it has been a while since I last sent them any reports. Yeah. Finian, on that note, we should really talk. Sure, go ahead. Though I haven't really done anything notable yet. Finian, you, do realize you're some kind of magic weapon, right? What kind of question is that? I mean, sure, the clerics keep going on about every crusader being a weapon of Iomedae, but I don't speak for myself in fancy words like that. I'm just a lad with 2 arms, 2 legs, and more freckles than I'd like. I choose where to go and whom to fight for. I don't want to be someone's weapon, you hear? Aridin is dead. Now everybody decides their own fate. Okay, you know what? Let's try a different approach. What do you remember about becoming a Pathfinder? Oh, I've always wanted to be one. Ever since I was a kid. I remember I'd go out to the edge of the village at sunset and then just keep walking until I got tired, or someone dragged me back by my ear. It was like something was drawing me away from my home. My clan wasn't the nomadic kind. Before the wound opened, the idea of traveling anywhere would never have crossed the minds of many in the clan. They were content with their community or their patch of land. But I had always wanted to see what lay beyond that bend in the road, over that familiar hill, beyond the horizon. My father, he wanted to teach me to be a shaman like him. But as soon as I came of age, I was off looking for the Pathfinder Society. And I found it, in Eyes, after 3 weeks' travel on foot. I passed their trials and they accepted me. My father hasn't spoken to me since, but that's all right. Once he hears of my great deeds, he'll come around. Someday. Sure, Finian. Stranger things have certainly happened. All I wanted was to rush off to some faraway land and find a treasure trove no one else had discovered yet. But I knew I had a duty to Sargeras. Then the wound opened, the demons, the havoc. In the end, I never went anywhere. But as soon as things calm down, I'm setting off to explore Aslan. I've already decided. Great ancient ruins, that's my kind of thing. Being surrounded by the wreckage here is depressing, as I'm sure you know. Yeah. Finian, do you remember how you got to Canabris? The days leading up to it? There is uncertainty in Finian's voice. I mean, a lot of things happened. I remember how happy everyone was when the Wardstone was placed in Canabris. That was some celebration. Finian is silent for a few moments. And I remember when the cultists took me, cut down my whole party and dragged me to their ringleader. Don't know his name, everyone just called him the Bladesmith. But after that, my memory is all fuzzy. For some reason, he didn't sacrifice me or anything, just knocked me around. Said he'd been looking for a phantom blade for a long time. I don't remember why. How I escaped, what I did, I can't remember that either. Some crusader picked me up in the wound, brought me to Canabris, and that's where I stayed, licking my wounds. Maybe there was a mix-up and now they think I'm dead. Why else would none of them contact me this whole time? The Wardstone, Finian. I hate to break it to you, man, but that was like 60 years ago. Ha, that's rich. Next you're going to tell me I've been sleeping for decades. Last year that was. Well, maybe the year before last. I couldn't have been wandering the wound that long. I would have been either dead or an old geezer by now. Nah, quit messing with me. Finian, buddy, you need to understand, you're not exactly human anymore. Finian's voice sounds concerned. Hey, are you feeling all right? Maybe you need to have a lie down? I'm standing right in front of you. Poke me if you like. As human as they come. Or do you think my travels have worn me down so much I've become an animal? Not happening. My folks taught me to stay human, always, no matter the circumstances. To remember who I am, and never to shame my ancestors. I was more referring to how you now appear to be a glowing eyeball on a stick. Tell me, can you still commune with spirits? Maybe I can, only they don't want to answer me. I'm still a spiritualist, a phantom blade. My power is within me, but I have this feeling like I'm separated from the spirit world by some kind of transparent wall. I keep knocking, but no one can hear me, I think. Finian forces a chuckle. I guess all the bladesmith's torture did a number on me. He broke something inside. Yeah, you know what, Finian? Why don't we just change the subject for a while? Go for it. We just had that chat with Hilor. Any more context on the Pathfinder Society you'd like to offer? Oh, well, sometimes folks curse our names, calling us opportunists who just want to line our pockets. But that's only part of it. We're travelers, explorers, solvers of mysteries, and fighters of evil. I mean, good coin hasn't hurt anybody yet, but for folks like me, it's not what matters most. We're curious to see the world, play a part in everything, stick our nose everywhere. I'm gonna beg to differ on coins not hurting anyone. I have hurt quite a few people over coins. Getting into our circle isn't easy. First, you must prove that you can endure any place you're sent to, that you won't shy away or flee. That's why you'll never catch a long line of applicants outside any society lodge. Every lodge has a venture captain, and if they approve your application, you're in. And there are many lodges all over the world. But the main one, the Grand Lodge, is located far away, in Absalom. I've never been there myself, but I've heard a lot of stories about it, and about the Decemvirate that governs all Pathfinder affairs from there. Cool, cool. You know what? That actually was rather interesting. Same general info as what Hilor gave us, but a different general flavor, I think. I guess that's it for now. If you feel like chatting, I'm always here. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Finian. Alright. Looks like we're about 20 minutes in. I think we've got time for one more. Let's go have a brief chat with the storyteller. The blind elf whispers something under his breath. Hearing your steps, he turns to you slowly. Greetings, Vex Godglove. Have you brought me a new story? I may have, but, you know, storyteller, you never did tell me how you got into that predicament back in the Blackwing Library. Ah, of course. I make no secret why I came to the library. I was looking for something. Yeah? What were you looking for? I was looking for a very old thing. Rumor has it some ancient scroll or a book page about the times of Earthfall is held in Canabris. According to the legend, it describes the last days of the proud kingdom of Kionen, later abandoned by the elves fleeing Golarion. I have a vague hope that the events described in it will shed some light on my past. Cool. So, did you find it? The storyteller shakes his head gloomily. Alas, no. But I found proof that the book I'm looking for is in Canabris. Or at least a part of it is. I see. Thank you again for your help, by the way. Not a problem. Hey, do you need help finding that book, maybe? The storyteller nods gratefully. I appreciate your offer. I have reason to believe that somewhere in Canabris there is a manuscript authored by an elf from Kionen who witnessed Earthfall. The storyteller's voice suddenly breaks, and he stops for a moment. For personal reasons, I would like to examine it. But no matter how hard I try, I have failed to find it. Even in the Blackwing Library, I only found a mention that the manuscript exists, and is held somewhere in the city. I assume it's stored at the Grey Garrison. They wouldn't let me into the archive when I visited. All those crusaders were nervous about the strange blind elf, interested in their secrets. It's understandable. The crusade naturally made them a little paranoid. But now the Grey Garrison has fallen into the enemy's hands. I would be grateful if I could see that manuscript. Well, storyteller, I will certainly keep an eye out for any weird elven documents I happen to come across. Hey, would you like to maybe get a feel for these random bits of curio I found in my travels? Maybe something will catch your attention. Try the eyeball stick. The storyteller nods politely. Let me touch them, and I'll tell you what I can see. The old elf carefully takes Yaniel's sword, Radiance. Powerful forces lie dormant in this sword. It used to belong to an incredibly bright and daring soul. The storyteller's hand runs carefully over the scale that has still not lost its shine. Ah, proud Terendelev, protector of Canabris. You devoted your life to serving people. Your death is a great loss. But maybe I will be able to find out something about you that is unknown to your many admirers. The storyteller's hand finally touches Finian. What a peculiar weapon. I sense intelligence in it, but it seems dented. Grandpa Elf, watch where you're poking your fingers. It tickles. The elf looks at you with unusual impatience. I say, shall we? Okay, so we are just here to talk about Finian, but we will come back and chat about this other stuff some other time. That is a slightly lower priority right now. Yeah. What can you tell us about our good living friend Finian here? Hello, Grandpa Elf. The storyteller carefully takes Finian from your hands. Hello, Finian. He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. His face contorts into a painful grimace. I'm coming to again. How long have I been here? They kept me in a cage for 3 days. I know this because 3 times the light under the door disappeared for a long time. Then they chained me to the table and the bladesmith. Everyone calls him the bladesmith. He placed a device with a jar over me. It feels like I'm being fried. At first I tried to break free, but I got tired. Then I screamed. But now I've lost my voice, though the pain is burning right through me. The storyteller stops. His voice changes, becoming more frightened. I think I lost consciousness again, but when I woke up, the pain was gone. And I wasn't tied to the table anymore. I was standing near it. And someone else was lying on the table, a burned corpse covered with a black crust. The master took out a handsaw and was sawing off his head, in a very focused way. I should have run back then, but I couldn't for some reason. This burned corpse had a symbol on his belt, just like I do. An eye and a star. My favorite belt, a good one. Where would a stranger get one? It must have been someone from my clan, some distant family member. The storyteller stops. When he speaks again, you hear only a muffled whisper. Those crusaders, I was glad when I saw them. I thought they'd come to help, but how? How was it that I killed them all? Someone told me to, and I obeyed. I don't understand. I understand nothing now. I need to catch my breath. I need all this to stop, even just for a minute. I just have to understand what's happening to me. Just need to rest. The storyteller shakes his head, slowly coming to his senses. So that's Finian's past, right? What about his future? The dead have no future, but the storyteller smiles. I do see an endless ocean on a good day, and a boat flying over the waves. I am so excited. But I don't know whose vision this is. Is this a soul existing here and now? Or a soul reborn? Interesting. The storyteller gives Finian back to you. Please take care of this young lad. He is finally in the right hands. Do not worsen his suffering by involving him in dishonorable deeds. Honor is a relative term, but I will certainly see what I can do. Come on, Grandpa Elf. I can take care of myself. I'm not a kid. I don't know what horrors you were talking about. But don't you worry about it, all right? Look after yourself. So the symbol on Finian, I had assumed it was just a visual representation of his id or ego or mind, which I guess it technically is, but that is also apparently the symbol that was on his favorite belt buckle, which I assume was the sigil of the Star-Eye clan, his tribe. That's a nice touch. All right, storyteller, I think we're done here. Return with new stories. I will be waiting. Will do, old man. Gotta go. Man, so, Finian's backstory is definitely pretty messed up. And it's not hard to see why he fell into this sort of, delusional denial about his current state. And I guess the risk is that, depending on how you handle him, you might risk causing him to retract again inside his, mind palace. Not even sure what you'd call it. To retreat within himself, or possibly even destroy himself, who's to say? Anyway, there is obviously more for us to do around the tavern, but we will parcel that out over future visits. As aforementioned, I would like to dedicate at least half our screen time today to doing some actual adventuring. Sorry, Cam, I think you're sitting this one out again. But we will pick you up for the next expedition. Alright, so we do still need to collect Darren. It would be nice to have a proper healer in our party, but this is kind of a Finian episode, so I don't necessarily want to muddy the waters by crossing plot threads. Instead, let's go ahead and swing by the market. We'll spend a half hour knocking out optional encounters, and then next time we'll pick up with Darren. That'll be the Darren episode. For now, I think it's more important that we whet our blades and sate our bloodlust. Or maybe just die. I will admit it's, been 2 weeks since last time we had a serious fight. I am slightly rusty. Okay, so let me get resituated here. That is our loot stash. That's where I dumped all the stuff we couldn't cart out last time. We're in for some more serious fights, so let's get some buffs going.
My tail is restless.
Just trying to remember our party dynamics. And of course, because we'll be traveling, we mostly just want the longer duration buffs right now. But some ablative defense on our casters certainly can't hurt. We're still going to avoid the indoor areas. We need a dedicated healer for those, because that's the toughest optional encounters. And instead, I think we'll just focus on... let's get these chunks up here cleared, up on the north side. We've got the northeast area near the graveyard, and then the north area right next to the Church of Desna. Then next time we'll go collect Darren, and then double back and finish this place off. Do a full clean sweep. What is our highest athletic score? Oh no, that's almost a 50% failure rate, so I do not think that's worth the risk. That timer is still ticking, so we really can't afford to become fatigued prematurely. Alrun, sup? That'll actually take us right by the Church of Desna anyway, so we can knock out that chunk first. Ah, here we go. All right. Ooh, an evoker.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Do not fear! Do not waver!
Nice. Solid start. And there we go. Fantastic. Gotta love those mounted multi-charges. No point in wasting spell slots. I think we've got this. Oh, hi there.
Mind over muscle.
Any more? Ah, shoot. Okay. You know what? I got greedy there. I really just sort of assumed I'd one-shot them.
No reason to pause.
Sorry, Sela. That's my fault. I really should have just set up for the coup de grace, but I didn't want to waste the extra minute it would take. And thus, I have paid the price for my hubris. On the bright side, that's still a net gain for us. Some halfway decent vendor trash. Oh, and a new spell for Nenio, because Woljif already has that one. And moving on. Let's see what other tactical blunders I can make. Oh, my. Ah, good. Okay, he went after Sela and not Ember. Ember would have exploded.
You won't survive me.
Oh, well, now Sela's about to explode, so that's still bad. Ember, scoot back, please.
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
Oof, that was a brief but harrowing encounter. Poor Sela. Thankfully, healing is cheap and plentiful. Even more so once we get a proper healer on board. +1 cold iron short spear. Not something we need, but decent sales fodder. Let's see what else we've got back here. Aha! It's pretty minor. Sorry, that just felt like a very Woljif thing to do. Had to be done. Okay, let's keep pushing east. We'll follow the chasm. And that will take us back to where we met Curl. That, I believe, is our secondary loot stash. Not sure about that, though. Oh, yeah, that's right next to the graveyard. We kind of skirted around that place last time. So, in regards to party composition, I will note Ember, Waljeff, and Darren are all going to be permanent fixtures in our party. They all ranked pretty highly in polls I ran right when I was starting the series. That said, I probably will end up running additional polls in the future as we hit each new act, just in case people have changed their mind or would like to see something a little different. Zombies, nothing to worry about. We'll just hang back and take pot shots and have Vex kill any that get too close. Come on, Lan. Well, we're definitely not wasting spells on these guys. Oh, you know what? I forgot I put the entrapping bow on Sela. There we go. Easy, Kaz. Not just yet. Nenio is not having much luck with that crossbow. Oh, well that is slightly more serious. Thank you, Lan. That could have easily gotten nasty quick. And I think we can get her into the fray.
I'll remove this obstacle.
Nenio. I think it's safe to say we'll be swapping her out for Darren. Ember, would you mind speeding this up for us a little? Oh, wow. I am not gonna lie. That was way more effective than I thought it would be. Not that I'm complaining.
Endure this!
Ah, still just out of range. Of course. That's fine. We actually made it through that one unscathed. Though, like I said, that shadow could have definitely ruined our day. At this low level, we just don't have a lot of ways to counter that strength damage.
I did it. It happens sometimes.
The dug-up graves and other clues indicate that a necromancer has recently conducted a ritual here. Gosh, yes, I guess the dug-up graves would indeed be the biggest clue. And not, say, for example, the shambling horde or the disembodied strength-draining spirit. That also nets us a +1 axe. Useless to us, but still fun. Okay, let's go check out those steps. Now, I believe we fought a small pack of ghouls up here, so we're probably in for more undead. Oh, it's just more zombies. Though we will, of course, keep our guard up, just in case. Whoops. Nice. Thank you, Lan.
No glory without risk.
Ooh, Sela. Good arm.
You're irrelevant.
Let's not overextend.
Make every strike count.
Really, Lan? Come on, man. Ah, and there's our shadow, lurking just out of sight. I'm onto your tricks, Wrath. Oh. Well, crap. Oh no, we have a second shadow incoming. No, wait, we have 3 shadows. We might be in trouble here. Yeah, we need Ember up front. Sorry, Sela. I didn't think that was on you.
Cover me, all right? Can't you just die already?
1 down. 2 to go.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Lan, you are killing me. Well, technically you're actually killing Sela, but the rest of us won't last long once she drops. Ow. Oh, come on! The RNG is being brutal. I think these guys only do 1d4 plus 1 strength damage. That's 2 near max damage rolls. Nenio, thank you. Okay. Let's just knock down that last one and then do some damage control. Careful. Come on, that was definitely not touching Sela.
You won't survive me.
Lan, don't get me wrong, I am very impressed, but you could have made things so much simpler for us if you had just started with that. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. That got a bit bumpy. Yeah, you go ahead and sit down, Ember. Chill out for a bit. Thankfully, we do still have a fairly ample supply of potions. Though I'm not sure we've got enough to actually fix up Seela. 9 damage. Oof. Yeah, I guess we'll just burn everything. Well, I was really hoping to get more back than that, but I suppose an average of 2 points per item is about average. Well, Seela will still serve as an adequate tank in the meantime, I suppose. Oh. The city has fallen at last! How glorious! Now I can stop pretending to be a shopkeeper and spend all my time on my true passion, reanimating the dead! Really flops Opteroptos, is that you? Or do all gnome shopkeepers just have inherently spiky blue hair? Well, I suppose in the end it doesn't even matter. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Oh no, well, that's not great. Well, thank you, Lan. That does help. Hey, look at that. Oh, well, that is just fantastic. Okay, I think we might actually be okay here. The cultists are still dangerous, though. Nice.
Endure this!
Oh, no, Ember, that is not at all what I wanted you to do. Can we blind a zombie? Well, not if we don't hit it, Nenio. Ow.
the fray!
Make every strike count.
Alright, alright. I learned my lesson last time. We are not going to get greedy. We will just gather around and give this necromancer a nice, graceful end. Ooh.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Wow, he just tanked that barrage. Gotta say, I was not expecting that from a caster. Though I guess in retrospect, he might have actually been a cleric, not a mage. Necromancer is kind of a broad term.
Sod is restless. I wonder why.
Yes.
Dark Horn. +1 Cold Iron Glaive. A glaive popular among Baphomet's warriors. Touching the handle is enough to sense the latent evil within this weapon. That's an awfully fancy description for something that just appears to be a standard +1 cold iron weapon. Not, I suppose, that it really matters, since we are not kitted to use glaives. Just more sales fodder. The disfigured corpses are laid out in a neat pattern, in preparation for an unknown ritual. Unknown, right, yeah. Couldn't possibly have anything to do with the mobile meat shields that guy had on point. Or, you know, how he screamed at the top of his lungs as we approached about how much he loved raising the dead. I'm sure that's all just incidental. Okay, well, mission accomplished. We have cleared the north side of the map, which just leaves this last chunk down here, plus the indoor areas. We are just pushing the hour mark, so I think this is a pretty good break point. We'll park ourselves near the exit, hit the pause button, I'll take stock of our current condition, and then we will pick up here next time. As we go down for the count, inappropriate, and then swing back by the market, see if we can wrap all this up. We have taken a bit of a beating, so I'm not sure we'll be able to knock the whole thing out in one more go, but we'll give it a shot. Failing that, we can always just head back to the safety of the Defender's Heart. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon. Links are in the description.